A lot happens in absence and blind spot of the cameras that goes unnoticed until it is finally documented. Be it cases of unseen living beings walking among us, or supernatural entities that took an actual physical form, these are some of the things that, should you see, report them immediately. Evil spirits are rumored to hunt travelers in deep woods, and one such entity was reportedly spotted by a group of exorcists while feeding on its prey. In 2013, as they opened a cabin door, they found the entity sitting close to two unconscious women. It crawled outside when they approached. Despite being confronted by the exorcists, none of their spells affected it. This suggests the being might possess powers that defy common methods of spiritual expulsion. It could be a spirit able to shift its form, luring victims before revealing its monstrous true nature. Creepy set footage. During the recitation of a Quranic verse in a shooting scene, Indonesian actress and model Erica Carlina was reportedly heard screaming. Leaked clips show her eyes turning red, accompanied by a sudden, unnatural, and aggressive change in her facial expressions. Many believe she may have been temporarily possessed by a malevolent spirit reacting to the sacred words. Others speculate she could unknowingly be a vessel for a wandering spirit disturbed by the verses. Numerous online users suggest this could be one of the consequences celebrities face after allegedly making deals with dark forces in exchange for wealth and popularity. Chilling graveyard sighting. These boys were exploring a graveyard at night when they suddenly felt like they were being watched, and then witnessed a tall figure standing nearby. Reported in 2010, the entity appeared to be between 9 to 12 feet tall, dressed in white, and resembled the ghost of a woman. Its unnaturally towering height and stillness made the entire encounter feel disturbingly otherworldly. Although it didn't make any attempt to contact them, many believe it could be a supernatural being taking a familiar ghostly form to provoke fear, or possibly something tied to an unresolved event from its past. Something lurks inside. In 2013, a young boy closed the restroom door only for it to suddenly swing open as a creepy woman with a sinister Glasgow grin appeared and began crawling toward him. Her twisted smile stretched unnaturally across her cheeks, and the sight sent the boy into a panic. The footage ends as the woman rapidly crawls closer, leaving viewers disturbed and unsettled by what happened to the boy. Some believe it's part of the Shadow Woman phenomenon, an entity that follows and traumatizes specific targets, particularly children. It may have been summoned unknowingly, or something inside the room might have triggered its appearance. Stream turns creepy. A girl was doing her usual live stream when a mysterious face appeared beside her chair, briefly captured in the frame. Recorded in 2024, the face looked eerily decayed, resembling something inhuman, yet she remained unaware until the stream ended. It wasn't until the next day that her friends informed her of the unsettling presence. The girl claimed she felt nothing strange during the broadcast, insisting that whatever appeared was not part of the physical world. There were no signs of a break-in or anyone entering the room, and a paranormal investigator suggested it might be a watcher, a supernatural being that observes people but rarely interact. Unholy presence witnessed. A ghost hunter was practicing alone in the wild when he sensed someone's presence. Using his candlelight, he witnessed a woman standing nearby. Reported in 2011, her face appeared unnaturally black and burned, with red glowing eyes. The figure never interacted with the ghost hunter. She remained silent and motionless, standing in the darkness, and he described it as a supernatural event. The woman might be a manifestation of dark energy or an entity that materialized due to his practices, taking the form of a woman with a tortured appearance. The spirit may be seeking closure or trying to communicate, though unable to interact directly. Ghostly ledge figure. In 2014, a man standing on the side of the road noticed a woman outside a high-rise window, as if she were looking down from above. Dressed in white, the pale figure didn't interact or move. She simply stood on a dangerously narrow ledge, seemingly unbothered by the height. No one in the building reported seeing the woman, and there was no record of anyone living in that apartment at the time. Additionally, the window she was seen at was sealed shut from the inside. Many believe she could be the spirit of someone who passed away after falling from that very building. Lake's dark secret. In 2009, a young boy reported seeing a mysterious figure while fishing near a quiet lake. The pale-skinned entity had a skull-like face and remained partially submerged, silently watching him for a brief moment. Locals had long claimed the lake was cursed or haunted by an ancient spirit, suggesting it could be a mythical being tied to natural water sources. The figure remained motionless, as if studying the boy. Terrified, he fled the scene and never returned. Some believe it could have been the soul of someone who drowned, bound to the location of their demise. Luring dark entity. A man's late-night walk took an unexpected turn when he witnessed a young girl walking alone, but her appearance suggested she might not belong to this world. Footage from 2023 shows her with an unnaturally red face, black lips, and white eyes lacking pupils, features often associated with spectral entities. As she looked directly at him, he was gripped by fear and ran for his life, convinced he had encountered something beyond human. Supernatural experts believe her appearance resembles that of a demonic spirit meant to punish or frighten. Some suggest walking alone may be a tactic to lure people in, only for them to fall into her trap. Eerie TikTok incident. This woman was live on TikTok when a terrifying figure emerged behind her and stared directly into the camera. Footage from 2021 shows the eerie presence, which was unmistakable. Strangely, the woman acknowledged it briefly but chose not to react, continuing with her video as if nothing had happened. There was no sign of a second person in the room based on the camera angle, and the lighting didn't change, ruling out shadows or reflections. Many believe it might have been a darker version of the woman from a parallel universe, momentarily bleeding into ours. After the incident, she never addressed it in any future live streams. Creepy car ride. In 2017, a figure in a red dress was reported walking alone on the side of the road. When a woman slowed her car to get a closer look, she saw the figure's haunted face, which terrified her. Panicked, she sped away, only to see the same figure suddenly sitting beside her in the passenger seat just as the footage ended. No evidence of tampering or editing was found in the original footage, lending eerie credibility to what happened to the driver afterward. Online users commented that it could be a vengeful entity that attaches to those who acknowledge it, explaining that the moment the woman slowed down. Unusual looking dwarf. In 2022, a man in Iran claimed to have discovered something not quite human. The figure resembled a small child but was strangely proportioned, its limbs too delicate, its posture too rigid, and its presence deeply unsettling. Long, silky hair completely covered its face, as if it were hiding itself or avoiding being seen. It made no sound, showed no fear, and didn't react like a normal child. Some believe it could be a remnant of an ancient species, or something unrecognized altogether, an entity slipping quietly into our world, waiting, observing, and possibly choosing not to remain hidden anymore. While traveling through a quiet countryside in 2014, a man claimed to have encountered something truly bizarre. A small, hairy humanoid baby, but with features that looked strangely like elves or goblins from ancient folklore. The man reportedly grabbed its hand. It showed no fear and then began running awkwardly across the rough terrain, frequently stopping to catch its breath like a winded animal. The creature's hair was thick and patchy, with its skin barely visible, similar to descriptions of forest-dwelling duende or feral cryptids. Some believe there might be a hidden colony living in these areas, far from human settlements. troubled or possessed. In 2010, a man reported seeing a strange girl on the street. Her skin wasn't just dark, but unnaturally black, almost synthetic, with no blemishes or veins. Her eyes didn't blink, but twitched unnaturally from side to side, like a mechanical sensor locking onto targets. The sight left him frozen, especially as she stared at a nearby street poster as if the concept of images confused her. No one saw her arrive or leave, and no missing child report matched her appearance. Some believe she wasn't human at all, but something else entirely that slipped into our world unnoticed. Haunted, deserted corner. In 2013, footage captured an old woman sitting on the ground in a dark, empty area. Something about her just didn't seem right. She sat hunched in a twisted way, her head tilted and arms stiff, like she had no control over her body. She didn't respond to anything around her, almost like she was in a deep trance or under a strange influence. People who saw her said the way she just sat there made them feel scared. Some believed she was a witch, or maybe someone taken over by one. Others think she might be a spirit tied to that spot, appearing where something once happened. Two places at once. A pedestrian walking home witnessed a strange-looking woman smiling at him from her window. Recorded in 2016, her skin appeared decayed, and seconds later she abruptly materialized in front of him just as the footage ended. The fact that the woman appeared to be in two places at once, smiling from the window and then materializing right in front of the pedestrian, suggests that she may not be bound by the typical rules of space and time. Experts believe she could be a cursed being, trapped in a decayed form due to a long-forgotten curse or ritual gone wrong. Midnight woman appears. While driving on a quiet road, a man witnessed a woman in a red dress in the middle of the road. Reported in 2013, her limbs moved in reverse, as if dislocated, as she crawled forward, forcing the man to reverse his car. A paranormal investigator who reviewed the footage mentioned that she could be a physical manifestation of an evil spirit, using an inverted form to instill fear or lure victims into a trap. But if she were a real person, her body may have been overtaken by a malevolent spirit, twisting her form. Jinn or beast?
انت جن زي ما انت ايش
This footage captures a beast-like entity that was spotted by a man while he was exploring a desolate site outside a village. Reported in 2013, the entity was said to be covered in a black cloak, intentionally hiding its true form. This suggests the creature might have a physical appearance too disturbing or unnatural to reveal. He believes it could be a Jinn, an entity in various Middle Eastern and South Asian traditions thought to be capable of both good and evil acts. Jinn are often linked to supernatural occurrences and unexplained phenomena with the ability to shapeshift and influence human behavior.
Allahu Akbar.
Flying female entity.
Nang, sumpah gua majuin nih nah.
Myths speak of the Kalimantan, a female vampire believed to take flight upon being seen, and in 2013, one such figure was reportedly spotted in the wild. A man claimed he saw the entity and walked toward her before she suddenly shot straight up into the sky, disappearing without a trace. Locals believe this terrifying creature may be a spirit of vengeance, or a cursed soul drawn to isolated areas, especially when witnessed by the living. No physical evidence was found, no footprint, no sound, and Kalimantan sightings are often followed by illness or bad luck. Babani in the house. While setting up camp, a solo adventurer noticed a strange creature lurking behind a tree. It had black, hairy skin, small glowing eyes, and a twisted, unnatural grin that sent chills down his spine. Reported in 2024, the encounter was marked by a heavy stillness, no wind, no forest sounds, only an eerie silence that felt deliberate, as if the environment itself had frozen. The creature didn't move like an animal, and its gaze felt targeted, almost intelligent. Whatever it was, the man ran without looking back. Some believe beings like this stalk remote trails, waiting for the moment fear sets in. Lurking dwarf witch. In 2018, a collar camera attached to a cat captured unsettling footage. A mysterious pale-skinned woman, no larger than the cat itself, spotted behind a house. Dressed in a white childlike gown, the tiny figure appeared startled and confused when the cat approached. Her movements were hesitant and she quickly retreated. The footage has since circulated online, with many arguing whether it was a supernatural entity, a lost mythical creature, or something never documented before. With no clear origin, ancient myths suggest that white-clothed beings often appear before major events, acting as harbingers of change. Silent Forest Child. In 2016, a girl was reported in a remote village in India under strange circumstances, and unlike most ghost stories, this girl looked like a normal child. She had pale skin, wore a white dress, and was seen speaking to the people who found her. This led them to question if she was truly a child who somehow lived in the forest, or if there was something darker going on. Some thought she might have wandered away from home, but no missing child reports were filed. If she was a spirit, maybe she's stuck in the forest with no way to leave. Cursed building encounter.
20. davetin görevi nedir? 20. daveti
In 2024, a man was exploring an abandoned building when he came across a mysterious figure he believed was a Jinn. Wearing a black cloak, it was sitting alone with red glowing eyes, and the glow began to increase the longer the man stayed, which could imply that the entity was growing more powerful. The figure's solitary posture might indicate that it was meditative or contemplative, possibly waiting for an encounter. While the most plausible theory is that it could be a ghost of someone who once inhabited the building, the site might also be a place for secret or cult rituals.
20. davet
Unexpected home intruder. In 2014, a CCTV camera captured a white, misty figure walking in front of a house before it passed through a solid door and disappeared. The figure appeared to take the form of a young woman. While walking, she paused briefly as if pulled back by some unseen force, but then chose to continue and went inside anyway. Many believe it could be a repeating energy imprint from a traumatic or meaningful event. Others think she might be connected to someone who owns the house now or in the past, possibly drawn by strong emotions lingering within the home. Strange binding ritual. Many ghost hunters are said to perform acts not meant for the public eye, and one such event was captured by a trail camera deep in a remote forest. A man was seen binding the ghost of a woman with tape, yet strangely, the ghost did not attempt to break free. Some speculate the entity wasn't a real ghost, but rather a summoned construct that obeyed its summoner. A fringe theory suggests there's an underground network of elite ghost hunters who collect and control spirits for unknown purposes, and this footage was never meant to be seen. It could also be a test of spiritual obedience. Eerie void emergence. This disturbing footage surfaced on the dark web, showing the organic, petrified face of a man attempting to push out of a brick-shaped cavity. The skin looked like flexible stone, as if trapped between dimensions. Uploaded anonymously in 2022, the face slowly emerged from the void before the footage abruptly cut off. The eerie realism and absence of any known source led many to believe this was something truly unexplained, possibly evidence of interdimensional phenomena, or a form of trapped consciousness trying to escape. Many online users believe it could be a soul imprisoned during a forbidden ritual or punishment, now seeking freedom after centuries of confinement. Eerie park footage. During a trip to an amusement park, a woman noticed a doll on a swing whose eyes appeared to be watching her. Footage from 2019 shows the doll's eyes seemingly following her as she moved. No known sensors or motion tracking technology were found inside the doll upon later inspection. The ride where the doll was installed reportedly shut down years earlier after a fatal incident. While some theorists believe the doll may be cursed through occult rituals or dark intentions, others suggest it could be a paranormal entity using the doll as a host to observe people. Jinn haunts mosque.
Apa no
Mosques are considered holy places, but in 2013, a man noticed a strange figure standing alone on the upper floor. Its face appeared inhuman, as though it didn't belong in this world, before it slowly walked away into the shadows. The man who witnessed it reportedly became reclusive and never returned to that mosque. Religious scholars advise cleansing prayers, suggesting that something unholy may have entered the area. Many believe it was drawn by the purity of the location, attempting to corrupt those who observe it. Islamic tradition speaks of a malevolent entity called a Jinn, banished from the unseen world and now haunting holy places.
Weh, ni. Sumpah weh.
Rage-fueled manifestation.
Assalamualaikum. Ya hadamul jinn.
This haunted-looking young girl was recorded by a man exploring an abandoned building alone at night. Dressed in white with messy hair, her face appeared scorched and disfigured. She never made eye contact or acknowledged the man's presence, simply standing still as if frozen in time. Locals claim the building has a history of a girl dying in a fire, and this figure could be a manifestation of her anger or rage appearing in physical form. She might be trying to communicate her story through her presence, or it could be an act to prevent anyone from discovering something hidden inside.
Ribul wilayah. Wajahnya demi Tuhan, teman-teman.
Haunted by grief. Many spiritualists believe that a soul lingers near places of emotional significance, and one such encounter was captured in 2010 when a man was seen crying beside his wife's grave. Footage shows a mysterious figure appearing silently behind him, slowly reaching out its hand toward him. Strangely, the man seemed unaware of its presence and left moments later, and the figure vanished without a trace. Some believe his intense sorrow might have acted as a beacon, and that this could have been the soul of his wife trying to make contact. In some folklore, intense mourning thins the veil between worlds, allowing spirits to cross briefly. Forbidden DNA secrets. Authorities prohibited locals from entering Snake Island due to extreme danger, but in 2015, a chilling piece of footage surfaced showing a half-human, half-serpent-like figure slithering alone in the wild. The footage sparked online fear, fascination, and global speculation, and the person who witnessed it allegedly never returned to the island or responded to further inquiries. Many believe it could be a mythological serpent-human hybrid, commonly found in Hindu and Southeast Asian lore, and thought to guard sacred places. Snake Island's notoriously off-limits reputation has led many online users to believe it might be a hotspot for hybridization and DNA engineering. Haunting church presence. In 2007, a man was walking past an abandoned building that used to be a church when he witnessed a young girl peeking from behind a crumbling wall. As he walked toward the pale-skinned girl, she retreated and vanished without a trace, leaving behind an eerie silence and an overwhelming sense of unease. Locals had long avoided the area, claiming to hear weeping and whispers at night, and believed it to be a hotspot of residual energy, a moment from the past playing on a loop. In European folklore, spirits of children often appear near churches to deliver messages from the other side. Trapped between realms. This footage captures a mysterious face peeking above the entrance of a tunnel as a man records the abandoned site. Captured in 2014, the face appeared haunted and unnatural, with hollow features and deep, shadowed eyes. The man was unaware of its presence until he reviewed the footage later that day, leaving him deeply unsettled about what truly lurks in forgotten places. No sound or movement accompanied the appearance, suggesting it was silently observing, perhaps waiting for the perfect moment to strike, but halted for reasons unknown. Some believe holes like these are entry points to other realms, where spirits remain trapped between worlds. Paranormal patient encounter. While exploring an abandoned hospital, a man witnessed a woman in a white dress, a sight that shocked him. Reported in 2014, her reddish face and messy hair prompted him to flee in terror, never daring to look back. Her white dress resembled traditional burial attire in many cultures, but her raw reddish face suggested trauma or decay. The hospital was allegedly the site of unethical experiments or malpractice before its closure. Paranormal researchers suggest she might be the ghost of a former patient who passed away under mysterious circumstances, her spirit bound to the location due to a wrongful and tragic end. Legendary beast spotted. After hearing strange noises at night, a boy went out to investigate, only to witness an animalistic creature that he initially mistook for a cat or dog. Recorded in 2016, the creature was peeking over a wall, silently observing. Its eerie movements left the boy terrified, and he later claimed it resembled the legendary chupacabra. The sighting remains unexplained, and many believe it could be one of the few recorded encounters with the elusive beast. The legendary cryptid, originating in the Americas, particularly Latin America, is known for its alleged ability to drain the blood of livestock, especially goats, and may have been scouting for food. Failed experiment escapes. Many believe that scientists conducted interspecies hybridization, and in 2015, a man reported encountering a strange cryptid alone in his guest room. The creature had a humanoid torso fused to a long serpent-like lower body, almost like a twisted hybrid. It lay still on the guest's bed until it suddenly began to crawl toward him. Some believe it could be a failed experiment that escaped and is now seeking shelter. It may require human blood for nutrient absorption, with a digestive system engineered for that purpose. Others think it was programmed to gather human tissue samples for scientific research. Mysterious foggy entity. In 2023, a CCTV camera installed outside a country house recorded a white, misty figure passing through a wooden door. Although it appeared foggy, the shape looked humanoid as it silently walked, then slowly faded into thin air. There were no signs of tampering or projection equipment, and the door it passed through remained physically untouched. No creaks, no movement. Experts believe it could be an interdimensional traveler, not fully materialized in our plane, or a glitch in our reality or simulation, manifesting momentarily. It might also be a loop of a person who passed away at that location centuries ago, still walking the path they once knew. Mysterious doll awakens. In 2012, a boy reported hearing strange noises, and when he went to inspect, he witnessed his doll standing completely still, wearing an eerie, haunting expression. He initially stepped back in shock, but decided to take another look. This time he noticed a young girl hiding behind the doll, partially obscured and completely silent. Paranormal researchers believe it could have been a soul fragment trapped in the doll, temporarily manifesting to complete unfinished business. The doll had reportedly been stored in a box and hadn't been moved in years. After the incident, he began experiencing recurring nightmares featuring the girl behind the doll. Chased by darkness. During a campfire, a group member witnessed a strange black figure standing close to a tree, watching him. Footage from 2017 shows the figure suddenly chasing the boy, going airborne as if it were flying, just as the footage ended. Locals relate this figure to a pontianak, often described as a female spirit with long, sharp fangs and fingernails, who perished and was unable to give birth to her stillborn child. Others believe it could be a malevolent demon capable of flying and moving unnaturally, taking the form of the pontianak to haunt and terrorize the living. Locked eyes horror. During a cultural festival, a woman was terrified to see a mysterious girl suspended mid-air, locking eyes with her. Footage from 2011 shows the girl seemingly waiting to be noticed, her chilling stare fixed directly on the woman. The unsettling moment felt intentional, as if the entity had chosen her specifically, leaving her shaken and unable to explain the situation. No performance or ritual at the festival accounted for her presence, and the intense, deliberate stare led many to believe she was either searching for a host or vessel, or was visible only to the woman. The rake haunts. Stories speak of a hairless, pale-skinned creature known as the Rake said to dwell in abandoned places. In 2010, a man allegedly encountered the creature inside a tunnel. It was seen peeking from behind a wall before suddenly approaching him, its silent and eerie movements leaving the man paralyzed with fear. The creature never vocalizes but is said to mentally project fear or disturbing images, and the man reportedly remained distressed for weeks. Many experts believe it exists in a state between the physical and spiritual, able to phase in and out of reality, haunting humans for food, emotion, or attention. Doll's secret life. This footage shows a young boy holding a doll that appears to move as if it were alive. Uploaded anonymously in 2023, the doll's legs can be seen mimicking the boy's movements, taking steps like a small child. Some nearby towns have old stories about forest elves hiding in plain sight as everyday objects, and some theorists even suggest that what we see may not be what's there. Viewers were stunned, with many commenting that it could be a goblin or elf-like creature disguised as a toy walking among humans unnoticed, and how many of them might be living among us. Open discussion. In today's open discussion, we have a series of events that were reported. Recorded in 2013, a pedestrian claimed to have witnessed a humanoid figure standing at the side of the road at night, its skin appearing decayed like a carcass, yet it stood as a living being. Another report came from an abandoned building where a woman was seen standing still in the dark with the same skin texture. Some say these beings are shaped by supernatural forces, created to guard or serve while straddling the realm of the living and the dead. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.